Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my corner of the internet once again. My name is Jason, and today we are starting the Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall. I just had a blast playing through all of Arena, and if you haven't checked out that series yet, go ahead and check it out. I'll put a link in the description below and probably up on the screen, but anyways, enough of Arena. We are now starting Daggerfall. We're going to be continuing the game using this, or we're going to be continuing the series, my playthrough of the entire anthology, using my character Alexis, which I used all through Arena. So we're going to be playing through as a Nightblade. Now, one thing before I go ahead and start, I'm warning people, this game is a lot more graphic, and has a lot more, we'll say adult content than Arena did. Arena did have a lot of blood and killing and stuff like that, but Daggerfall takes it to a whole new level. There's nudity, there's just hacking and slashing things to pieces, there's gruesome scenes of death. Just a warning. Alright, so let's go ahead and start the game. We'll talk more about the game as it's starting. So, like I said, we're going to be continuing with Alexis. So we're going to go ahead to Morrowind, because she was a dark elf. And we're going to go ahead and start there. I think this will be a little bit quicker than Arena when making the character, because we know what class we're going for. And we're going to go ahead and choose the Nightblade. Now, I find it interesting, in the manual, it actually states that, to quote the manual, possibly the most feared class of all is the Nightblade. And I just found that interesting, because I'm like, yes, that's right, because we saw what Alexis could do in the last game. The Nightblade is definitely terrifying. So let's see. The skills most important to a Nightblade are illusion, stealth, dodging, thaumaturgy, shortblade, and lockpicking. It's basically like a thief that with the capability to use magic. It's a magic thief. Thaumaturgy, I believe in later games was renamed to Mysticism, because the manual description of this skill, it sounds a lot like Mysticism. It includes spells like detect creatures and stuff like that. So yes, we want to be a Nightblade. Now we could choose, let's see, fast start by automatically generating your character's background, or choose the character's career path by answering 12 important career decisions that will influence character background. Now, this is something different. This is cool, because this is kind of part of that character building that we didn't really get in Arena. So we're going to go with the bottom one. And what it's going to do is start asking us different questions about our past and our biography, and it's going to sort of tweak the character based on that. So what thieving skill have you been studying the longest? Well, if we actually think about Alexis, we could go ahead and say running, technically. Or lockpicking. She did a lot of pickpocketing, but I'm going to go ahead with stealth. She spent most of her time invisible. We're going to say she's really good at stealth, so she spent most of her time in that. What school of magic have you been studying the longest? Let me see. She used shield spells constantly, absorption spells. I believe those would fall under, oh wait, no, actually Mysticism is here. I don't know. I don't completely understand what this one is yet. We're going to go with alteration or illusion. One of these two. Let's go ahead with alteration. Yeah, let's go with alteration. Now, where is your expertise in combat? Well, technically, she's a spellcaster. By the end, that's all she was doing. But honestly, let's go with short-bladed weapons. Actually, hand-to-hand combat might be kind of fun, where she's just good at punching the crap out of things. That would be kind of cool. Not having to rely on weapons. Well, you know what, if we're going based on what we've seen her do traditionally, we know she's good with short-bladed weapons, so let's go with that. As a child, your nickname was Rabbit, Guppy, Quicksilver, Scrapper, or Monkey. Well, we always want, something cool sounding, so let's go with Guppy. There we go, I like Guppy. I don't know why, it just spoke to me. I was like, I just want to be a Guppy. And that's her as a child. It's a character building thing. You don't always have to have the coolest thing of all time, all the time. So let's see. You are friendly than most with the Savage Harpies. No. The Glorious Dragons. Well, she could be friends with them, but she's probably going to kill them in Skyrims. No. The Infernal Daedra. Nah, she kind of hates them. The Primitive Centaurs. Indifferent. The Simple Giants. The Immodest Nymphs. Well, if immodesty is the only problem, then she probably's got no problem with them. The Bucolic Spriggans. No, one killed me once in Skyrim. I don't like them. And the Mischievous Imps. Nah, those are kind of like demonic and stuff. Let's go with the Nymphs. As you grew older, you received additional magical training in... Well, we chose Alteration last time. So let's go ahead and say alteration and illusion are going to be her two main sort of schools of magic. We'll go with illusion. And between formal study, you spent your time socializing with aristocrats. No. Learning street smarts. Maybe. Practicing acrobatics. Trespassing. Probably. Learning economics, swimming, and sparring. We're going to go with trespassing. She has no boundaries. Of all the disagreeable types, you have the most personal hatred for sanctimonious priests. No problem with diabolic wizards. Stupid peasants. Power-mad robber barons. Immoral assassins. Absolutely. Because she is a thief herself, and she has no problem with taking riches, but do not harm somebody, especially if they have no reason to be harmed. So, immoral assassins? No. She's a thief, but to her, there's that sort of saying that there is honor amongst thieves, or between thieves. But, you know, she also feels that honor spills over. You know, don't steal from children, stuff like that. So, immoral assassins, it's killing people, it's being dishonorable. Absolutely not. What motivates you into a life of adventure? I had thought about going riches, but, you know, to me, that's too... it's too common. It's too much of a regular or an expected answer for a thief. Fame? No, she doesn't want to be known. Helping others, that's a possibility, but it almost comes across as too, you're the hero-ish. I want to do something a little bit different with Alexis. So I'm thinking either knowledge or fun. You know, she steals things because she's craving knowledge. She wants to know more, which is why she became a Nightblade in the first place. Or fun, because, you know, she just wants to go around, poke around, and be curious. I feel like fun represents me more, and knowledge maybe represents Alexis. So let's go ahead with knowledge. And what god, if any, do you worship? I thought about this one for a little, quite a bit, when I was trying to think about what I would choose for Alexis, and you know what? I really don't have a decent answer. I thought, look, let's work through this. The god of commerce, goddess of beauty, god of time, time's cool, I guess. Goddess of air, birth and death god, mother, logic, mercy. Mercy sounds kind of good. Actually, Stendar, god of mercy. Let's do that. She's a merciful Nightblade. Before you set out for the Imperial City, your mother gave you 100 gold pieces, a cuirass, a pearl, or her favorite book. Let's go with the book. And you have the most trouble. Now, thinking about Alexis's history, honestly, I want to say fighting without magic, because that's where she really had the problem. But as a Nightblade, I feel like that's almost crippling. So I think we're going to go with resisting magic, because we saw that before she was able to use magic to sort of fortify herself in Arena, we saw that magic was sort of her Achilles heel. She got like one-shotted, two-shotted constantly. So let's go ahead and say resisting magic is sort of still her problem. So your reputation have changed as follow. Have changed. Should be has. So nothing's really changed. Now this is an interesting screen. You might be wondering, well, wait. We're just making the character. What are you talking about reputation? Depending on your class, it can actually alter your reputation with different factions, right from character creation. So depending on what class you're playing, race and different stuff like that, the choices you make during character creation can affect how different types of characters within the game world react to you. And this is already a huge difference from Arena. But as we can see, everything's sort of unchanged for the Nightblade. So let's go ahead and name ourselves Alexis. And choose thy face. You know what? I'm thinking, let's go with this one. It's kind of the closest-ish to what we had last time, because she had longer hair, if I recall correctly. I just finished the game last week, and I've already forgotten. Yeah, let's go with this one. All right, now here's where we get to see a little bit of underneath the hood, and I promise I'll give a little more context, and I'll explain. If you're not even familiar with what Daggerfall is, I'll explain that in a bit. Basically, it's an RPG. I'm sure you figured that out from the fact that we're sitting at a D&D inspired sort of a character sheet here. What is my strategy going forward? Well, first of all, I don't want any of these negatives. Right now, my endurance is too low. It's going to give me a -1 to hit point, -1 healing rate. I got a -1 to damage. No. I want to make sure my endurance is at least 50. So that way there I've got I don't have any penalty to hit points, and I want to start raising endurance early. I also want to prioritize, we'll say, agility and probably intelligence. But I also don't want a negative damage indicator because, especially at the early part of the game, I'm going to need to focus on my swords fighting. So actually, I think at the beginning, right at the beginning, we're going to focus on and making sure endurance doesn't have a penalty, and then going for agility and strength. That way there she can learn to fight with a sword well, she has that survivability, and then as the game goes on, we will develop her magic skills again. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and keep re-rolling our character sheet here. Come on. I want some good rolls. Let's see. Like I said, I want to prioritize agility and strength. So let's see if we can't get a really nice roll here for both of those. The other ones, as long as they're average, I'm not too concerned with them. Like I said, as we level up and start playing the game, we'll have more opportunities to up those. Now, let's see. Agility here we have at 74. If I put one more point into it, oh no, I have to bring it all the way up to 80 to get the +3. And then strength, yeah, okay, no good. Let's try this again. You know, I'm gonna fast forward through this while I do my my rolling. All right, and I think what we've got here is pretty good. We're actually 51 endurance. I put my spare points into endurance. We've actually got a +2 to hit with agility, and we got a +1 to damage with strength. And we've actually got a nice pool of 90 spell points to start with. So actually, this is actually not a bad roll. So we're gonna stick with this. I don't want to spend too much time re-rolling for, you know, those perfect stats. I just want to get into things, so we'll go ahead and hit okay. Now, once again, this is another difference from Arena, is that this is kind of where you start to see the stuff that we saw in Morrowind and Oblivion, like the later Elder Scrolls games. We start to see the different skills. So you get your primary skills. This would be basically like the equivalent of your major skills, and then your major skills, which are the equivalent of your minor, and then your minors, which are like your super minor skills. Basically, these skills, they advance the quickest, next quickest, and then slower, and then there's miscellaneous skills, which is everything else. And like every Elder Scrolls game, you can basically just do whatever you want. But this is a new addition. So what we're going to do to help us, especially out in the early part of the game, is stealth is actually already pretty good. At 37, that's for starting skills, that's not bad. I'm going to increase dodging. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to basically make it harder for the enemies to hit me in combat. And earlier on in the game, like I said, this is important. So I'm going to increase my dodging. And it's calculated like by dice rolls behind the scenes. So you're going to see me swinging the sword, and it might be missing constantly, and the enemy might be swinging too, and no damage is being done. And that's because behind the scenes, there's doing like a strike dodge roll kind of thing. It's comparing their ability to strike me with my ability to dodge. So I'm going to put that up to allow me to avoid taking damage altogether. It's kind of plays off like the armor class or the armor rating we saw in Arena. Now, major skills for we're going to increase a short blade so that we can increase our chances of hitting with a short blade, so that, you know, we can actually kill things. Also, to help us out at the beginning, I'm going to go ahead with critical strike. Now, this what critical strike does is it doesn't help you hit, but what it does do is that when you do hit, there's a greater chance of you doing a lot more damage. And once again, like I said, at the beginning of the game, we're focusing on Alexis's sword use to really to keep her alive until we can actually get a nice, a nice full spell book of wonderful spells. So let's go ahead and hit OK. Player reflexes determine the overall speed of the game. If you pick very high reflexes, the monsters will move and attack quickly, forcing you to be quick with the controls. Very low reflexes means the monsters will move and attack slowly, allowing you to adopt a more cautious, thoughtful playstyle. Your character will advance a little slower with a lower reflex setting, and will advance a little faster with a higher reflex setting. I've played with this. I'm going to keep it at average. I do like to have things kind of low, just because I'm not a very combat focused player. When I play role play, I see combat as something that happens within the context of role playing, and not necessarily the main focus all the time. Unless I'm playing a game that's based around a combat. But the Elder Scrolls, I feel, is a role playing game, at least earlier on in the series here. So let's go ahead and leave it at average though, because I think I'm competent enough. So here's our summary. Do we want to commit to this? Yes, sounds good. Let's get started in Daggerfall.
400 years after Tiberseptim's reign, the beginning will meet the end, and the bloody circle will close in the empire of Tamriel. The unworthy heirs of the Septim dynasty have allowed the bonds of the empire to weaken and crack. Uriel Septim the Seventh cannot repair what his ancestors ignored. The provinces fight among themselves like neglected children, drunk with rebellion, and one indomitable power hides itself, but not forever.
Excuse the gloom, but none may know of this meeting. The nature of my trouble is darker still. Over a year ago, King Lysandus of Daggerfall died honorably on the field of battle. He was as loyal a subject, ally, and friend as you are. I did grieve for him, but his spirit does not rest. With a spectral army, he haunts his former kingdom, crying for revenge. I do not know why a good and loyal man would be so cursed. Perhaps you can find the answer and close the marble jaws of oblivion, bringing peace to his soul. I ask this as your emperor and your friend. I have one lesser request. Several years ago, I wrote a letter to the Queen of Daggerfall. It never arrived. The letter was of a sentimental and personal nature. If you find and destroy that letter, I will be grateful. Now, my champion, rest well this night, for tomorrow you sail for the kingdom of Daggerfall.
Love those 90s FMVs. All right, so basically, we'll go ahead and read this here. You wake and look around the room. Some hours ago, you were in a boat en route to Daggerfall when a storm of supernatural strength boiled over the Iliac Bay like a malefic creature. Your boat was destroyed, but you managed to swim through the churning water to a promontory rock. There you found a cave and escaped the fury of the storm. You had only just lit a small fire when a mudslide sealed you within. Your fear of being buried alive calmed when you saw the corridor leading out of the cavern. Perhaps there is a way out of this cave after all. Once free of the cave, you can begin the Emperor's quest. All right, this is where we start, and not in Elder Scrolls fashion. Actually, we're going to skip the tutorial. If I forget how to do something, oh well. I'm going to let you guys shout at me and be like, no, stupid, do this. So we're going to not use the tutorial. All right, so here we are. And like I said, not in Elder Scrolls fashion, we are not starting off in a jail. We are starting off in a cave where we made camp next to a bunch of skeletons and such. All right, so first things first. One nice change from Arena, if we look at the controls, we can actually change the type of mouse controls. We can use the cursor-based, which is what Arena was like, and then there's a view-based, where when I move the mouse, it actually moves my view, which allows me to look around like this. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. That's beautiful. All right, before we go ahead and get started, let's go ahead and save the game. First of all, I'm not a big fan of this layout. I believe there's only, what, 6 save slots? First of all, that sucks. And 2, I find there's like so little space, like there's so much room taken up by the tiles that are going to populate the screenshot that it makes the interface very sort of clunky. But let's go ahead and just call this Alexis Start. All right, so first things first, let's go ahead and take a look at our inventory. Push the I button, which is not the inventory button, but basically I'm in Privateer's Hold. It is, and I hate 24-hour clocks, but it's 1:36 on Tertus, the 4th of Morning Star. In the eyes of the law of Daggerfall, you are a common citizen, and I am healthy. All right, let me actually take a look at my bags. I forgot what button it is. Now, if I, like I said, if you get offended by nudity, just be warned that if I accidentally click on anything on here, it's coming off. There is a parental feature in the game, but I opted not to choose to use it because it actually alters the dungeon layouts, and I feel it kills a lot of the immersion of the game. So, you know what? We're playing this uncensored, uncut. It's Daggerfall. All right. So we've got some weapons in our pockets. So let's go ahead and toss those in our hands. There we go. Magic items. What is this? Oh, that's right. I can't just tell what it is. I have to go ahead. I can't right-click on it like in Arena to tell what it is. I've actually got to click on info, then click on it, and then I get Spellbook. So that's my Spellbook. Clothing and miscellaneous. What is this? The War of Bettany by Vulper Newgate. Worth 580 gold. Weight 2 kilograms. So these are books. And that's one nice change from Arena, is that Daggerfall includes readable books. So we can start getting some lore in this game. That's exciting. That's really cool. Alright, so I equipped my weapon. There's A and I believe S to switch different weapons. So if I want to use the weapon in my left hand, I switch to that. If I want to use the weapon in my right hand, I hit the S button and it switches as well. Yeah. So I think we're set up, ready to go. And let's start our adventuring. I'll go ahead and talk about things as they occur. Now, basically, I'm sneaking at this point because that is kind of how I have to be playing. Because, you know, that's the kind of character I'm playing. Now, sneak, much like in Morrowind, you have to... Come on, you can do it. Kill that rat. You can do it. There we go. That rat wasn't really a rat. It was a skeleton. A human skeleton. Or maybe it was just a human. But anyways. That's awesome. He just turned into a pile of bones. I've never seen that before. Wait, is my sword enchanted in some way? Because normally there's like a blood effect. So let me take a look at my bags. I'm assuming it's the B button. Weapons and armor. Okay, info. Iron short sword and steel wakizashi. 1 to 3 points of damage. The iron short sword can do 0 points of damage. Alright, so the wakizashi is in my right hand, so I want to be using my right-handed weapon. What weapon am I using? Oh, there we go. Interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and get this. What is this? It's some clothes. A long skirt. No, I don't want to wear the long skirt. It looks stupid. Let's put the pants back on. We're wearing pants! Anyways, like Morrowind, you have to hold down the sneak button. Now, the sneak button, or the sneak, operates separately from the crouch in Daggerfall. So, I currently have my alt key. We'll call this Alexis working. And that'll be my working save for this game, for this playthrough. The alt key is a toggle, so you can toggle your crouching, but you have to hold down your sneak key, which I've remapped a lot of the controls because they while they work, they were broken. I'm really trying to figure out why I appear to be doing magic damage. I'm used to seeing like blood flying out from the enemies. I don't think I have any spells active on me. Interesting. Can't remember if there's a quick save in this game yet. Okay. Oh, something's coming out for me. Spell effect failed. Okay, so spell effect failed, so I'm assuming Imp just died. Now I'm wondering if I would have had a better reputation with the imps, if that would have gone differently. Huh. So I almost died there. That was scary. Like I said, the game, or actually, I haven't said it this time. You know, I gotta start treating this playthrough as a completely different game. It's a different playthrough. Unicorn Horn. Wow, that's probably worth quite a bit. Let's, grab that. What is this? A medium tooth. No, it's okay, you can keep the tooth. An evening gown. I don't want to equip it, I just want to take it. Can I just click and drag it? No, I don't, warning, guys. It unequipped everything. Get ready for some nudity. Oh, no, it's not. Yes! No nudity. The children are safe. I'm doing good. There's no blood. There's no nudity. Wait a second. I need to check something. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. Alright, so it actually turns out that the game is censored right now. I was experimenting with the parental lock, and evidently I neglected to, or well, actually, even after uninstalling the game and then reinstalling it, apparently the lock is still on. So, I'm gonna go ahead and, oh, please. I'm gonna go ahead and save the game. And, we're gonna end this episode here. Next episode, we're gonna come back with the parental lock off. Oh, wow. That's interesting. But anyways, you've gotten a chance to sort of see Daggerfall at its core. It's an open world RPG. We're going to be able to go everywhere, explore all over the place, and have some great adventuring fun. So I'd like to thank you so much for joining me in Daggerfall. And, you know, if you like this content, you want to see more, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you don't like it, go ahead and give me a thumbs down. I don't care. Let me know what you would like to see different. If you have any questions, ask me. I want to talk with you. You know, I like doing these recordings and playing as if I was, you know, sitting down on the couch, just hanging out with some guys and just having a blast with the game. So, you know what? Just, I feel like I'm approachable. Talk to me. Let me know what you think. You know, next time, like I said, we're going to get through Privateer's Hold, which is the starting dungeon, and then we'll actually be able to get into the adventuring, real adventuring, the meat of the game. So yeah, but until next time, I would like to ask you all to game on.